What's going on, guys? Joey from back with another Vnotes. Hope you guys liked the last video. Didn't get to put it on the dyno. It's pretty busy at the shop with the R34 and some other cars that are there. So recently I've been driving and been noticing a lot of E85 smell, gas smell, and it was getting stronger and stronger. So I thought it was a tune because it was running pretty rich. My fuel pressure regulator was showing it was at 50 PSI. Which is good. So I was like, what the hell? And then my gas mileage was like getting worse. So Jack tuned it to where I was running a little lean at idle, which made that awesome cam sound. And it was driving good, but then my car would just randomly stall. So I was like, what the fuck? So I'm like, you know what? Jack kept saying, look at the fuel pressure regulator. Maybe something's going on with that. So I ended up looking at the fuel pressure regulator, and this AEM one I got a long time ago is actually the top of it. The seal is actually broken and it's shooting fuel out of the vacuum port into my intake manifold. So I pulled into HP Logic and I was checking some things underneath the car and I had it running and the car just shut off. And I couldn't start it for like 20, 30 minutes. It's like, what the fuck? Leo came over and he pulled that vacuum line off the fuel pressure regulator, and we started it and fuel was just shooting outside the vacuum port, which is not supposed to happen. So luckily Jack had an extra fuel pressure regulator there and I put it on the car start after 20 minutes though, because I had my intake manifold was filled with fucking fuel, and we took the spark plugs out, cleaned them and everything. Now I put the other one in and I realized that the O-ring, let me flip the camera around. The O-ring, if you could see, is slit and it had a little bit of drippage there. So, and then the other one had a little slit in it, and I was like, okay, I swapped that out. And then I still smelled fuel, and then it was coming from this, the bottom of this part. So then I snugged it up, pushed this all the way in the line, and I was like, all right, cool, no leak from there. And then I'm looking around, following the line through, the engine bay to the port, and I realized the fucking line, oh, there goes that, is actually leaking from one of these somewhere around here. I think it's like right over here or something. You can't really see. Small little drop, and it's just dripping and dripping and dripping, and I'm pretty much done. So what I need is a new fuel pressure regulator. I need a bigger one. I need a new fuel line, but all that comes in the kit. For me to drive the car now, I just need to hook up a line to this. I have extra O-rings. So I'm just gonna rig this right quick. Hopefully I have another line or a line that I can use for a few days until the new one comes in. I know Havoc Speed has them down the block, but I don't know if it comes with the full kit or they just sell the fuel pressure regulator, but I know they have hoses and lines and shit there, so I might actually have to do that. So this is just great. Great. Good thing it didn't stall on me like in the middle of the intersection, because that would have sucked. But I'm gonna call AEM, see if this is under warranty. Maybe they can hook me up with a bigger and better one for a cheaper price, because that's unacceptable. So let's go ahead and find a line, fix these O-rings, put them back in the car. All right, at Havoc Speed, hopefully they have that fuel pressure regulator. Just got back from Havoc, and they had exactly what I needed. I wanted the cheaper one, but they had this one, and I got a little discount, wholesale for Horsepower Logic. But I got a new line, all new fittings, and new fuel pressure regulator. It's a Aeromotive, so it's really good. It's up to 1,000 horsepower. Flows on it, it's great. I got to take this off. This will fit right on there, and we'll be good to go. So let's go ahead, take this out of the package, hook it up, and then install it in the car. All right, isn't she pretty? So I don't have any Teflon, so hopefully this doesn't leak or any of these fittings. If it does, then gotta take it off and just put Teflon on it. But everything should be good, everything fit great. So now it's time to route it in the car. Obviously the line from the fuel rail will just hook up to there. This line will go right to the OEM port and we should be good. And then we'll just adjust the top. Hopefully we're gonna be at, let's just keep it at 50 PSI for now. And see how the car runs. If it's running a little rich, and I'll just drop it down a little bit. If it's running a little lean, you know, raise it. Honestly, to hook this up, pretty self-explanatory. I had the line already coming from here. It's gonna go to the side of the fuel pressure regulator. I drilled a bigger hole for the bracket. It's gonna go right in here. So it's gonna sit up just like this. And then this line, fuel line that's on the bottom, routed all the way here. It's gonna go underneath the intake and go back to that port right. Open port, I don't know if you can see it. It's right, where the fuck is it? It's down there, right there. And that's it. That's all you gotta do. Oh yeah, and the vacuum line, which is connected to the blow off valve and to the boost. Here. Boom. All right, we're all set up. Looks pretty nice. I kept this loose because we are going to adjust the fuel pressure if it's off. So let's go ahead and start it. Already drained all the gas out of the intake manifold when it flooded. You do that by disconnecting your fuel pump, injectors, and spark plugs. You crank it for about, you do 3 or 4 tries. Just turn it for 10 seconds, stop. Do it again. You'll see the fucking fuel and shit go out of there. Starts. Awesome. Once you buy something brand new, everything's working, and then the stuff that's not new around it just breaks. So the line that came from the fuel rail to the fuel pressure regulator decided to just, I turned it once and then it just started leaking like crazy. So now I gotta go right back to Havoc and get a new line. Great. Decided to go to the local AutoZone and they had the line I needed for $3. So we'll go hook this up and hopefully no more damn leaks. Knowing me, I'll put this shit on and now my fucking intercooler will start leaking, and then after I change my intercooler, my turbo will start leaking, and after I change my turbo, my head gasket's gonna leak. So it's just a never-ending process. I don't know if you guys know I rolled my ankle, so I don't know if you saw that in the last clip when I was picking up tools, but anyway, I was playing kickball and I touched the base like this, and I hit the base on my inner foot and I heard a pop, but whatever. This looks nice. Look at that, no kinks. Ready to go, huh? Look at that. Let's start her up. Moment of truth. Key in my pocket. All right. walking back home. Decided let my car run for like 10 minutes, and I was like, you know what, I'm driving around the block, get all this fuel out, and there's still so much fuel that my spark plugs are just flooded. So gotta walk back, take the spark plugs out, put the other ones back in, drive it back, and then let it run until there's no more fuel in my intake and all that shit. I'm over here limping, can't fucking walk. Good thing I'm only like a few houses down, so. So a lot has happened since I walked back from my car around the block to push it back. It didn't start. Took the spark plugs out, took the fuel pump relay out, cranked it until there was no more gas in the cylinders, put the spark plug back in, all that stuff, still didn't start. Ended up pushing it all the way back with my hurt ankle, which was tough. After I did that, had it in front of my house, I changed the spark plugs, I put the old fuel pressure regulator on, reversed everything, still didn't start. Then kept, taking the spark plugs out again. Then I took I unplugged the fuel injectors. I cranked it with the pump disconnected over and over and over again. I checked down into the cylinders with my camera. There's no fuel in there. I'm getting fuel pressure. I don't know. So I called Jack. Jack said it could be a injector issue. I've already tested that. I turned the car in the on position and no fuel was coming out of the injectors. So one of them, they're not stuck open, but maybe they're not putting out. But when I crank it and I pull the fuel rail, there's fuel coming out of the injectors. So injectors are working. Jack also said it might be bad gas, which is possible because right when I filled up on E85, full tank, my car started acting kind of weird. And then that's also when the fuel pressure regulator broke. So got new fuel, got brake cleaner, got new oil and an oil filter. I drained the gas already, and so hopefully this works. If it doesn't, I don't know. So let's conquer this problem. All right, fuel's in. Let's see what we got here. Nope, that's not working. All right, sprayed brake cleaner into the vacuum port. Still didn't start. It runs a little bit with the fuel pump disconnected, but obviously it dies because it's not getting fuel. With the fuel pump connected, it doesn't run at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the fuel pump, and hopefully, well, maybe one of those lines is corroded or ripped or whatever to where it's not getting enough fuel. So I'm gonna go ahead and start that now. All right, I disconnected the relay in here, tried to turn it on, didn't work. Put the relay on, it works, so the relay works. I disconnected the return. I turned my primer on, fuel came out, okay? And then the feed disconnected the feed, started it, shot fuel out. So that means the pumps are working, internally is working, it's getting fuel through the lines. So on to the next problem. Same problem, on to the next conquer, I guess. So there obviously is some sort of restriction coming from the line I added. I think it might be this one, but this is not kinked at all. I mean, a little bit, but maybe I can move this around and see if it works. But I changed this line, and the fuel pressure regulator. That's all I fucking did. I don't get it. So I'm gonna straighten this line out and see if that fixes it. All right, so that did nothing. I'm still getting fuel pressure. I have it tightened to where I'm getting 60 just in case. I'm not leaking back there. So I don't know. I'm running out of ideas here. Maybe it's injectors, but injectors is getting fuel and it's pushing the fuel out. Fuck. Cam sound, maybe my cam sensor broken or something. Well, I'm getting fuel, I guess, right? I shot a huge flame up just now. All right, now we're gonna swap out the cam sensor. I had an extra one. I don't know if this one's good or bad. If it still doesn't start, I'm gonna take the one from the back and swap it. That's the one that was in the car. Marked it because if this is not the problem, that works. I don't want to mix them up. So let's go ahead and swap this. All right, both cam sensors are changed. Nothing. Great. All right, so took the spark plugs out again. I don't know if you can see. Pretty black, but there's no fuel in there. But I did find something like this. More focus. Look at that, the line's just not connected, so I got a misfire. That's probably the problem. Not getting spark. So let's go ahead and fix that. And hopefully it starts. Probably not, but whatever. Go. Fucking DeLorean. Holy shit. So I couldn't figure it out. I had Leo come here, and the map sensor was not all the way on. Check everything, and he flicks it with his finger and it comes off. So that was the problem. Let me show you what it was. That sensor, map sensor, popped off. That was it. All right, since Leo came here and figured out my problem in less than 3 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and do an oil change. I use the same stuff you guys have been following. Rotella, 10W30. I think I messed up and got 15W40, but that's all they had there, but anyway. A little zinc. And I usually use K&N, but they only had Mobile 1, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. I zip tied everything. Fuel line goes all the way to the back, nice and good. I didn't put the cover on yet because I'm gonna let it run for a little bit. Make sure these are good. We soldered this line, but I'm gonna get a new harness. This is temporary. This looks really nice here. Oh, I'm out of breath because I had to jack up the car and it's the shittiest jack in the world, sorry. And got some Nesquik brewing. That has a lot of fuel in it, dude. It just smells straight. like alcohol, E85. So let me go ahead and do this oil change. I'll give her a start up and probably end the video. Maybe a little pull, I don't know, depending on how I feel. Pressure regulator up, 45 psi, get some AC in there, not leaking, don't see any leaks down there. Good to go. Just like that, Jack fixed the tune. It was just running a little lean at idle. We had that adjusted, like I said in the last clip, because obviously we didn't know I had a fuel leak in one of my lines, and you know, my car was running really rich and all this stuff. I don't know. Anyway, so that's gonna be the end of the video. Car runs great. Next video hopefully will be me dynoing the car with the different turbo housing, the smaller housing, which I'm actually making more boost on. The bigger housing, 1.21 AR, I was making 33 psi, and then with the 1.01 housing, I'm making 38, 39 psi. So I'm assuming probably I'm making 650, 660 wheel. And then next is going one more stage up and going to a bigger Garrett. So like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.